Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your friend, the unapologetic atheist. I'm here to make another video about something that has been on my mind as of late. Ever since I've been thinking about religion a lot because I've recently left it and it's been a big part of my life. So leaving that made me want to share, just talk to someone about this, because I feel like if I just keep this in my head, I'm just gonna go crazy. Because me personally, I feel like I wasted a lot of time with religion, right? It wasted a lot of my time, and it wasted a lot of other people's time, right? So one of the things that made me realize, like, religion and God and the Bible and all of that is either one, made up and fake. That's what I personally believe. It was made up and contrived to control people, right? Or let's say on the offhand, somehow it's possibly true, right? If you even take a deeper look at the Bible without a mindset of, okay, everything here is good. If you just take a look at it, just read it as you would in any other book, right? You would start to realize that the main character, Yahweh, is really a very terrible God, right? And they really want us to worship this man, this person, this God. But if you really look at him as he presents himself, because the Bible is basically his memoir. He tells you everything he is. And in the Bible, one of the things he tells you is he's omnipotent. No, sorry. He's all knowing. He's all good. He's all, what's the other ones? I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I don't have anything of this written down, so I'm doing this straight, right? So he knows everything. He knows everything that's going to happen. He's all good and he's all this, right? So if we take a story that we all know growing up, that's been fed to us, the story of Noah, right? So basically, if you don't know the story of Noah, let me break it down for you real quick. Noah basically was living at a time where he was basically the only good man on earth, right? Everybody else was sinning and doing debauchery and turning against God, and God hated that. Because if it's one thing God loves, is to be worshipped, and he wants everyone to worship him, right? But the funny thing is, he, instead of, revealing himself to everyone and showing them what he does, he goes to Noah, right? Apparently, the only person that still believes in God. He only goes to him, right? It's like literally going to people that you know. But rather than showing everybody else that don't believe in him that, I do exist, he goes to Noah and he tells Noah, because nobody believes in me anymore and everybody has turned from me, I must restart everything. And because you are the only person that still believes in me and follows me and does all these things, right, that I had set out since the beginning, that he's been telling certain people, but not everybody for some reason. He's an all powerful God. Why not just tell everybody the same thing at the same time rather than going to certain prophets? But that's another topic for another time. Back to Noah, right? So when he tells Noah his plan, he's going to send a big flood. He's going to make it rain for 40 days and 40 nights, right? That's the story I've been told. Other people have been told that God came and warned Noah about a flood that was coming. You see, so even there, they already don't even know how, can't even make their minds up. But the most popular one is that God told Noah that he was going to send a flood, right? So the Almighty God, who created all this earth and everything in it, and everything he did, it was good, right? He decided, you know what? Nah, this thing I created, maybe it wasn't all that, and the people have turned against me, so I have to restart, right? And the only way to restart is by killing everyone and everything. Basically, erase everybody on Earth except for 6 people, because he had 3 sons, 8 people. erased everybody on the earth except for 8 people. And at that time, who knows how many people were on the earth, right? Let's just erase everybody but 8 people, right? Now, let's say that story is true. What does that show us? That one, when this God that, we all worship isn't worshipped for things that, he doesn't, that we can't prove, that, he doesn't even reveal, but he just tells certain people to tell everybody else. And then when we don't believe what somebody else is telling us, we're going to be punished rather than him telling us ourselves. Cool. Right? So when he's not worshipped, he feels that, the only way to make people worship him is by destroying them and by showing them that, he is the only thing. Right? But my question is, this all-powerful, all-knowing, all-good God who created us, right? And the way that we were told that we were created was through Adam and Eve, right? And the story of Adam and Eve, for those who don't know, it goes as this. God, after he created everything he created the earth in 6 days and then rested on the 7th. So he created on the 6th day, he went and he created Adam, right? He breathed into his nostril and gave him life, basically, telling us that God is in all of us. So when he did that, he saw that Adam was lonely. He decided to create Eve. He creates Eve. How he does that? He puts Adam to sleep, take a part of Adam's rib, and creates Eve. So, a little small tangent, right? If we look at that story alone, I'm gonna separate this from even the God thing. If you even look at that story like a regular story, they said a God created a man, not even us, created a man, first, because, and then he created man in such a special way, he breathed his spirit into the man. And then rather than doing that same way when he was creating the woman, he took a piece of the man and created a woman, forever attaching woman to a man. So in that sense, what they're trying to tell you subconsciously is you as a woman are forever linked to me as a man because you come from me, even though in reality, we come from women because my mother gave birth to me. I did not give birth to my mother. I cannot give birth to my child. My wife does. The only thing I can do is provide the seed, right? But everything else, the nurturing and the being and actually forming of yourself, or being created, quote unquote, happens in the woman. A woman creates a man. So in this story, they tell us that a man creates a man. Woman comes from man. So forever, belittling women, and this is why I believe, the Bible is the main reason why, we have such oppression against women. But that's gonna be for a later video. Back to what we're talking about, right? Okay, so as the story goes, God creates Eve from Adam, and they are essentially husband and wife, right? And God gives them all this beautiful thing, this beautiful garden called the Garden of Eden. He tells them everything in the garden is theirs except for this one tree that they are not allowed to touch or eat the fruits of, right? So first question, why even have the trees there to begin with? You're God. You know we're humans. You know what humans are capable of. Why even put that there, right? But then the Bible teaches that God does not test us. God does not tempt us. Okay, human beings have urges, and telling them not to do something is gonna make them want to do it all the more, right? So he tells them not to do it, and then actually no, he tells Adam not to do it, and then Adam tells Eve they're not allowed to eat from it. So boom. So later, down the line, doesn't tell you any amount of time, this character of Lucifer, Satan, the devil, the serpent, whatever you want to call him, he appears, and he somehow can talk to Eve, because apparently the story of that is he's supposed to be Lucifer, the angel that rebelled against God and got kicked out and sent to hell before Adam and Eve were even created. And somehow in this magical paradise that God created, he's able to be in there somehow without God knowing, even though God's supposed to be all-knowing and all-powerful and all good. But then he goes and he talks to Eve and asks her, did God really say, you can't really eat the fruit? And, he goes to Eve, but not Adam. Why is that? Is it because he knows that Eve is a woman and will eat more likely to fall to deception? I think that's what the Bible is telling us. And it has a lot more stories of that where it portrays women in these lights of belittling them and showing them as literally the downfall of humanity, right? So he asks Eve, is that really what God said? And she says, yes, that's what he told Adam and everything. But he's like, is that really what he wanted though? Because the only reason he said that because he doesn't want you to be like him. Like, he doesn't want you to have the knowledge of good and evil, right? So the question is where is God in this instant? Right? He just created these two human beings. They just adults somehow, but like, what kind of knowledge do they have of anything? They're literally adults with kids' knowledge, right? If you haven't experienced anything, if you haven't lived, even if you have an adult body, you're still a kid. So literally, this is a grown-ass angel who's been alive for thousands of millennia, literally coming to talk to these kids that were literally just born and telling them that, what the God just told them, isn't really all that important. And the only reason he's telling them this is because he wants to keep it to himself. So what else? So she believes him, eats it. She's that it's really good. It tastes good. Because of course it does. It's magic. So she goes and tells Adam about it. And, at first Adam refuses. But then, as we humans do, and as any man who's ever been in a relationship, and your woman comes up to you and says, hey, honey, try this. If you don't try it, you already know what's going to happen. It's not going to be a good day. So Adam, being the man that he is, he tried it, even though, he was told not to. And then, boom, somehow, like it's literally like magic, God pulls up and says, no, before God pulls up, they realize, oh my God, we're naked. We got to go clothe ourselves, because before they had no clothes on. There was nudist and everything, whatever. So God shows up, boom. And then he's like, where are you guys? Why is God asking, where are you? Right? And then, so they say that we're here, they're hiding and everything. Because, they were naked and they saw him coming. So then he asks, how did you know that you were naked? And then they told him, basically interrogating them. And so he's like, oh yeah, we ate. Adam tells him that Eve told him to eat the fruit, so he ate it. And then Eve tells God that it was the serpent that told him. So, it's the whole blame game. So God then punishes everybody accordingly, because he is just and all good. So everybody must be punished, all right? His punishment is to make it so that when Eve bears children, everybody she bores is going to be born with the original sin, right? Now, this is the original sin. Like, this original sin comes because Adam and Eve ate the apple, right? That was the first time there was sin, right? And an all-knowing God, rather than, let's say he sees that, these two have messed up, let me just restart now, right? Because at this point, he didn't even care about worship. But further down the line, he does. Because these two he didn't tell them to worship him. He just told them to just enjoy it. But now, because they sinned, now they must worship him. So, right? Now they sin, and now they create this original sin. Now everybody who is born now is a sinner, right? So now, back to the time of Noah, everybody who is sinning because they came from Eve, who God created and was tempted by the devil, who God also created. So all of this is to say that when you're saying that the Bible, the God in the Bible is all good, all powerful, all knowing, literally the Bible tells you he's not. So when you tell me to believe in these things, and when you ask me why I don't believe in these things or why I feel the need to speak about these things, it's because these are the things that are being taught to people to literally keep them in a state where they're obedient, they do whatever you tell them to do, and the only way to do anything is to come through to you, right? So now this God in this Bible, right? Now, for anybody who's in the comments, I wanna ask you a question. I really want an honest answer to this, because I have not been given an honest answer or a good answer that doesn't just revolve around God because he's God and God does what he wants. So you do not question God. That's not an answer. And I do not want the answer of, they had the free will to do whatever they wanted. No, they didn't. Even if they had the free will, why? There's so many things that they were set up to fail. And God restarting the earth after, the time of Noah, why didn't he just restart after the time of Adam and Eve? Why wait for hundreds or thousands of people to be born to kill them all and get rid of them all? And to then restart with only 8 people he sees as valuable, right? Why not just restart from there and then just, only get rid of 2 people? Because even if let's say, because this guy's gonna kill people, so kill 2 people. But nope, he'd rather kill hundreds of thousands. But if you can honestly give me an answer to why that's good, or why it's better that he did not restart the earth after Adam and Eve, then maybe I'll be able to be understanding. I'll be able to see something I've been missing all my life. But before, other than that, this whole thing of religion, it needs to be taken out of this world. It needs to be taken out of everything. The fact that we have people here literally living their whole lives just by what religion tells them, by what a book tells them, by what some pastor tells them, what some priest tells them, is ridiculous, because you're taking away the reason why people are here. And the reason we're here is to be able to enjoy life. We have one life, and you're gonna spend it following what somebody else tells you rather than what you want to do. So this is the end of this video. I don't want to be any longer than I already am. So I'm gonna come back, talk about some more of these things. But this is just what's been on my mind as of late. I'll see you guys in another video.